Raining Cats, Dogs, and Other Animals, written by J.F. Blaine, illustrated by Joel Snyder. In Part 3, Charlie put an end to the town's drought. He made it rain on a garden, but also on a string into a spring paradise, which put a smile on no one's face but Charlie's. "I did it! I really did it!" I sang out. "I made it rain." "About that," said Dad. "I know you and Aunt Dee helped, but I wrote the rain song, and it was my rain cloud experiment with a fan and ice cubes that really did it. Isn't the rain glorious?" "Well, if you're a gardener of roses, watermelon seeds, and apple pits, struggling to grow in parched ground, rain is glorious. But if you're a town full of people in the middle of an outdoor festival, rain's not so glorious. You're always ruining everything," cried Ethan Jordan, a boy in my class who is also my number one enemy. His wet New York Yankees t-shirt clung to his chest so tightly. It looked like he had pinstriped skin, and a mob of sopping wet fourth graders yelled out, "Charlie did it! Charlie did it! Get her!" "Hold on now, kids," said Dad. "Charlie didn't make it rain. Her Aunt Delilah had some of her pilot friends do a cloud seeding experiment with special chemicals. They made it rain. Isn't that right, Dee?" Aunt Dee looked at me. My rain had dripping. My spirit stabbed. "I tried to tell you before that I wasn't be able to get my friends to come through. But if they didn't make it rain, then," I started. "I really did it? I make it rain on everyone's parade? Look at Ethan and the other kids. Now they look like they really want to throttle me." Before they got the chance, I grabbed Murray, my big old chocolate Labrador, and took off. "See you at home, Dad." I took a shortcut through the hole in the fence behind Mr. Matt's girdle yard, just to make sure Ethan and the other kids didn't follow me. I made it home just as the rain let up. I couldn't keep the grin off my face. "That was quite the storm we had," said Wade on Tess as I banged through the door. Friends from the Scrabble Society were coming over that evening for the tournament. Patty's apartment wasn't big enough for a tournament night, so Dad let her use our house. Folding tables and chairs filled with the living room. Little glass bowls with little bowls of hard candies in flavors like toffee and butter rum that don't taste good. It was raining cats and dogs, she added. "That's my family for you, always saying these sayings that I don't always understand." Daddy explained that raining cats and dogs meant a really hard rain. She said that back the old days. Cats and dogs would sleep on the rooftops. When a really hard rain came, they'd all jump down from the roof, so it seemed like it was raining cats and dogs. Daddy also said that I looked like something the cat dragged in, and told me to bathe and put on clean clothes. When I came downstairs afterward, Daddy had on her coat. "I'm going to the bakery across the town to get some pastries for the party. I'll be back in an hour. Try to keep yourself from looking like something that cat dragged in again." First off, we don't have a cat. Secondly, I don't know why you would let a cat drag you inside. The third thing is, now I really wanted to find out what something a cat drag can look like. It was time for another experiment. I opened all the doors and windows, but how would I get cats inside? I cried, "Here, kitty kitty," but no cats came. Then I remembered that cats like to play with spring. I scattered some balls of yarn Daddy was using to make a sweater that haven't even gotten its first leaf yet. And I placed saucers of milk in corners of the room and made trays to the milk with pieces of cheese and Murray's food. Since Murray was sleeping on the sofa, which he only did when the adults were out, I figured he wouldn't mind using his food for the experiment, and I tried again. "Here, kitty kitty," I called out. "Come inside. I have toys and snacks for you." Nothing. Maybe all the cats were sleeping? But no, cat can't read. Maybe I needed to go to where cats hang out and invite them personally. I was about to hop on my bike and headed over to the garbage cans behind the restaurants on Main Street when a little gray cat with white paws leaped onto the kitchen windowsill. Meow, she purred. It seemed like she was saying hello. Meow, I said back. I hope she understood that I meant, welcome, little kitty. She did. In came the kitty slowly. She nibbled a piece of cheese, and I picked up a ball of yarn and dangled an end above her. She tried to grab it, and I pulled it away. She tried again and again. Up, down, up, down. We played at this game for so long. I almost forgot that I was doing an experiment. That's when I realized the kitty hadn't dragged anything in with her. I wondered how I would get her to go out and come back in dragging something. Then the kitty yowled and hissed, like around the room. Cats! They appeared everywhere. Okay, time to find out what cat's dragging, I said. I have no idea how to say that in Persian, which is the name I made up for cat language. The little kitty ran off and looked around in the room. That's when I saw it. A giant tiger-striped tomcat. The little kitty tried to dive past him out the window, but his paw swatted her back inside. The little kitty let out a sound that would have made a tiger proud. The tomcat dove at her like a jaguar, and it ran around the room in circles. Then the little kitty leaped straight up to the ceiling. Now, if she had stayed up there, it might have avoided what happened to her neck. But that crazy cat landed right on Sleeping Murray's head. The dog woke up and growled. The cat yowled and I howled. Stop! Now, a den tables and a floor littered with hard candies that nobody eats that way would have been a terrible result for a science experiment on haywire. But during the cat and dog chase, a bunch of squirrels and a family of free-floating raccoons chowed down on the trays of Murray's food. Murray, doing his duty as a watchdog, stopped chasing the cats and went after the squirrels and raccoons. What a mess they made! No wonder they're considered wild animals. Fortunately, well, maybe not, another uninvited guest arrived at the party. A skunk. The skunk let loose a spray of skunk juice that set off another round of yowling, growling, and howling, plus some screeching and chirking. The cats and dogs and squirrels and raccoons and skunks. And who knows what other wildlife thankfully took the chase outside. I know I should have left a note for Dad and Daddy saying where I was going, but I didn't have time. Besides, I have no idea where I was going. I hopped on my bike and chased after the chase. Where would the chase end? It was Charlie's garden. Find out in Let a Smiley Face Be Your Umbrella.